Yo guys, what is good and welcome back to another video. Now today I am going to be talking a little bit about my preparation for my next black belt grading. If you are new to the channel and you didn't already know, I am a first degree black belt or a Shodan black belt in Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. I teach outside of the University of Gloucestershire, and yeah, I have been nominated for my second black belt essentially. The gradings are in the summer, so I have about 8 or 9 months to train and prep for it. But I thought what I would do is I'd talk a little bit today about what my training involves, how my preparations are going, and how I am going to spread my preparations and my training out throughout the year in the lead up to the grading next July. So, if you are new to the channel and you might be interested in keeping up with some of this stuff, or if you're interested in general lifestyle videos, if you're interested in teaching stuff, because I am a teacher, so I do a lot of teaching based things, or just random videos, because I do occasionally just do random vlogs where I go out and do stuff, consider subscribing guys. If you enjoy the content, smash that like button, and if you want to know anything about Jiu-Jitsu or about my gradings, especially about black belt gradings, because they're kind of iconic, I suppose, leave a comment down below. Right. Let's get into the video, guys. So, I have been doing Jitsu since 2011, so we're coming up to 9 years on the trot. It has been it's been a good 9 years, I have to say, or 8 years in this case. It's been a good 8 years, and I completed my first degree black belt 2 years ago in 2017, and it was a good grading. It was a good grading, but I'm not here to talk about my previous grading. I'm here to talk about my next one. So every martial art is going to be slightly different. Certain martial arts require you to do certain things before you get to black belt level, and it really just depends on the art and also the foundation or the society that you train in. So for me, I have to wait a certain period of time between each grading in order to be eligible to go to the next belt. So in my foundation, in the Jiu-Jitsu Foundation, if you're interested in the Jiu-Jitsu Foundation, I will stick a link to the website below. You can go and check out, see if there are any clubs near you. There is a time span between each grading, and you do have to do other things in between as well, such as teaching commitments, etc., especially for the senior levels and the sort of instructor grades, such as brown belt and black belt. But between brown belt and first degree black belt, so getting that first black belt, you have to wait at least 2 years between completing either gradings. Between first degree black belt, which is what I'm at now, and second, which is what I'm going for, it's 3 to 4 years. It depends. I think ideally it should be 4, but they let you, but like the minimum is 3. And then I think to go up from there, the next physical grading, which is going for 5th Dan. 4th Dan is a teaching grade, but to get to 5th Dan after that, to get to 4th Dan after that, you have to do 6 years, I believe, 5 to 6 years. There are certain technicalities to it that I'm not entirely sure about because I'm not at that level yet. But yeah, you have to jump through various hoops and various rings in order to be eligible to go in for the grade in the first place. Now, in terms of eligibility, the way that you essentially, I suppose, know, there is a set criteria for like length of time, having length of time between gradings, etc. But you have to hand in a nomination. So you have to nominate yourself as the candidate, and you then have to have that nomination signed off by 2 senior black belts. So my original instructor has signed it off as like the first mentor, and then the head of my current region in the West Midlands, he has also signed it off, and we've spoken about training and preparation for it, and then that goes up to the panel, which are like the guys that will be grading me, and they then decide whether or not they think I'm eligible and whether they want to give me the opportunity to go for it. So it's a bit of a process, but for the most part, once I have filled my little bit out and it sends off, I then just need to focus on my training, and that is where we're at now. I have sent it off. I believe it has been sent through the various instructors and will hopefully be with them, or will be on its way to the panel to review it and determine whether they think I should go for it in July, in the summer. Yeah. Now, for me, the thing that is tricky, when I say it's tricky, it's manageable. There are worse situations, I'm sure. But where I live in Gloucester, there is only my club. and I am the sole teacher. There is no other instructors or people suitable to teach the club. So when I have sessions that I teach and I run in Gloucester, I am obviously in the position as an instructor. So although I get to do bits of training, I am not really pushed myself personally. In terms of training, it's only ever me pushing my students, and it's good because my technical jiu-jitsu has improved because of it, because obviously I'm breaking techniques down at senior levels a lot more. I do have 2 purple belts who are sort of going towards the more senior end of the grade spectrum, but I don't really get to train properly as I would like to. The nearest clubs, there's one in Worcester, but again the grade boundaries mean that I won't get to train at my level. So it would be Bristol, which is about 40-minute drive from where I live, and then going up to Birmingham, which I do as frequently as I can because my old instructor lives that way. He lives Stoke, and I also have mentors that are in the West Midlands, in Birmingham especially, that will be overseeing my training in the lead up to this grading. Now, because obviously when I'm teaching in Gloucester, I'm not training per se for the last sort of 2 years, 3 years since getting my brown belt. I have been training as much as I can, but obviously certain teaching commitments have taken over, and so technically I feel my jiu-jitsu is pretty good, but when it comes to sort of getting stuck in and getting, like, you know, stuck into the gritty bit of jiu-jitsu, I don't do that as much as I would like to, because obviously I've got those teaching commitments. So a big part of my journey up to my next grading in the summer is going to be getting back on the mat, getting back into hard training, and really building up my fitness in that way. Now I do run, I do keep up with the gym, I keep my diet in check relatively well, but obviously, as with everything, training has to be specific to what you're going to be doing. So for me, really, the only way to properly improve my jitsu fit is to do jiu-jitsu. And so obviously as my training goes on throughout the year, that will improve and that will build up. So hopefully come next July, I'll be all good to go. So the biggest thing that I want to make sure that I'm doing, and if you're watching this in a similar position, doesn't have to be in martial arts, it could be in other sports, is I don't want to jump straight into the deep end straight away. I've got a long period of time to train, you know, the goal is there. The date has been sort of highlighted and has been set, so I know when I need to be at my peak, should I say. But I don't want to rush into it. Now I'm only 26, I'll, you know, be approaching 27 by the time the grading comes around, so I'm still fairly young, I'm still fit. But I've seen a lot of people in the past who have basically trained solidly, consistently at a high level for the entire time, and you lead to burnout, you lead to sort of emotional stress, and you know, there are high increases of injury. There's lots of sort of negative side effects of training at that level for a long period of time. So my tactic is to start to improve my jitsu fitness in both my teaching slots as well as on the weekends when I get to go up to Birmingham or potentially go down to Bristol. There's also a club in Swansea that have kindly opened their doors to me. So I'm going to slowly bring my training up a notch bit by bit. There are multiple sort of senior sessions. There are Browns and Dan sessions which are specifically designed for the senior levels, and again they will pick up as the year goes on, so come July they're really intense, but my aim and my objective is just to not get injured in between this sort of like 9-month period, but to just pick my training up and progress so that come July I am as mentally and physically confident as I can possibly be. Now what I'm going to do is I've got a session tonight. It is currently Wednesday. This video will not be out tonight, it will be out in a couple of days, but I'm going to give you like a bit of a bird's eye view, a bit of a snippet of the kind of training that I get to do when I am teaching. So you'll see a whole variety of how I get involved. You'll probably see a bit of me teaching, so you'll get to have a bit of an insight into sort of my thought process and how I can improve my jitsu while I'm teaching. So I get involved in the warm-ups and stuff. So this is the kind of thing that I'm trying to prepare myself for on a weekly basis at the moment, and obviously my training is similar but picks up, and I'm in control of my own training rather than teaching when I go up and do events on the weekend and stuff. So let's roll that clip and I will show you guys everything that I get to do. Apologies for the change in quality. I'm obviously on my DSLR right now. I will be changing to my iPhone. I obviously have the additional lights here, so the quality will be a bit different, but you'll get what I mean. Right, let's go to the dojo. So there you go. So hopefully you saw from those clips that I'm trying to take part more in the break falling so that I get my body back into the swing of hitting the floor. I did go to the gym a couple of days ago and did some squats for the first time in a little while, about a month. So my hamstrings have been quite tender. So I probably could have done without doing that and then hitting the floor loads, because obviously it's not the best on your legs when you then hit the floor loads of times. But anyway. So I did obviously a bit of the break falling, got involved in that. It's good for me to get involved in the break falling because, like I say, gets me prepared mentally and physically. And then I just kind of like chipped in like whenever we ran a circle or something, I would be the first one in. It's good for the other guys because it kind of sets them at a level, gives them something to sort of go towards. It shows lower grades what they can try and achieve. And obviously it's good for me because it means I get to get involved and throw about a little bit. Not ukiing, so not attacking as much. Again, I'm thinking more of my physicality. Ukiing, so uki essentially is the training partner, the person who goes out and does the sort of the punching, gives the person the test. It does take a lot out of them, and in my senior sessions that will happen. I'll probably get hit a few times in the boxing stuff and the weapons works that we do. I'll probably take a few knocks. So when I am training, when I'm in a teaching session in Gloucester, like I'm going to try and pull back a little bit from ukiing because there's plenty of grades that are fit and healthy and are able to do it. So for me, getting in and just doing my techniques and practicing that is more beneficial than it is me trying to then attack them and uki for them. So that's my mentality anyway. So I'm going to obviously be picking my training up, and if you're watching this and you're wondering, becoming a black belt is brilliant for your own psyche, but it doesn't really change anything. You get noticed a little bit more, you get more opportunities for your teaching and for your own personal development as well as your development within the martial art, but it doesn't really change anything. I mean, I've been a black belt for just over 2 years now, and it's been fantastic, don't get me wrong, I love it. I've had lots of different opportunities about people wanting to come and see me. I've been invited to teach at other clubs, and so it's fantastic. But if you're in that position where you're kind of prepping or thinking about going for a black belt grade or even a brown belt grade, I know they're just as intense. Try to take it a little bit easier on yourself. Obviously you're going to have that goal, and I do tell you do need to attack your training as though in preparation for it. You need to have the right mindset. You need to walk into the grading hall on your grading day with the mentality that you're already a brown belt, or in my case, you're already that next black belt level. But there, if you don't get it, you don't get it. Okay, we're talking at senior levels now. There's a high chance that you will miss out on the grade, unfortunately. I am also in a position where I've never actually failed a grading before. I don't really know why. I suppose I always have the same mentality. I train quite intense in the lead up to these gradings. I do lots of extra study, and obviously I'm quite fit because I go to the gym and I keep fit by running and stuff. So I've always dominated my gradings fairly well, but there's always a first time. I only have 2 physical gradings left until I'm at sort of the peak of my jitsu, I suppose, in that way. And then this next one, this 2nd degree black belt that I'm going for, is a notorious grading. It's going to be hard. And I think one of the biggest things that people fail to realise, especially if you're not a martial artist and watching this, it's as much of the psychological warfare going into these things as it is the physical. Physically, you bounce back, but psychologically, there's a lot of nightmares goes on, a lot of like nervous energy. Even now, like I've had nervous energy about the grading, and it's like almost a year away, So yeah, so I'm trying my best to get myself mentally and physically prepared this year, and smash it when the time comes. Right guys, so I'm gonna wrap this video up now. This was kind of just me airing and talking to the camera a little bit, giving you guys a bit of an update as to my jiu-jitsu sort of now. You obviously saw me training a little bit, so you can see where I'm at. I am going to likely put out more videos with like updates as I go on in my preparation, my thoughts, experiences I've had in training for my black belt, my second black belt. If you guys want to know anything in particular about how I deal with certain things, be it the physicality of training at a high level, the mentality, if you want to know how I've managed to get to my level without failing a grading even, please leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you. If you enjoyed this video and you're looking forward to the rest of these kind of videos, hit that like button. And as I said before, if you're not already and you like my content, please consider subscribing. Right, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.